Well, it's another rainy day here in New Jersey. So we're in my garage. Not exactly the most bushcrafty of places, but it's better than nothing. And we're going to look at the Green River Sheath knife. As you see here, I bought this as just a blade for about $10 off the internet, and then put my own handle on it. This looks like the blade's about 4.5 inches, maybe 8 3/4 overall. As you can see, the blade is quite thin. That was my first reaction on it, was that, man, that blade is real thin. So it's thinner than a Mora. But I've been very surprised at how well this knife functions. So we're going to kind of look at it today and maybe see what we can do with it. Alrighty, let's go. Again, here we have a small piece of pine, and we're going to see if we can tell and see how well this works. This pine is soaking wet, by the way. It's been out in the rain for days. Actually, it's been out in the rain for about a week, if not longer. So there you have it. Some nice baton wood. Let's see if we can get some curls out of it. Now I've been making a couple of feather sticks here, and as you can see, the wood itself is not curling well. Now, as I'm kind of thinking here, I don't think this has anything to do with the knife. I think it has to do with the fact that this wood is soaked. Now here is just a little bit on my strop. As you can see, the wood curls fine. So this wood really is waterlogged, and so it's not going to curl necessarily as well as dry wood, but this is the only thing I had at my disposal at the moment. But it is carving it very thin. Yeah, so as you can see, some of this is curling, some of it isn't curling, but the knife itself is cutting very thin. Now curling is better because as you get as the wood curls on itself, it ignites a little bit easier than if it's straight like this. Now one thing that I can say about the Green River knife here is that it does an exceptional job at taking and holding a nice edge. Now right here I just have a leather strop with some high grit sandpaper on the back, piece of leather here, and it has such a steep grind to it that it's actually quite easy to sharpen, or depending on your various sharpening style, or if you like to do the circles, whatever your bag is. But it's very steep, which actually in my opinion makes it a little bit easier to sharpen, because you pretty much lay it flat and then just take it up just a hair. Now with the strop side of it, you pretty much can lay it flat because the leather itself kind of cups around the edge. And this gets razor sharp really quickly. And like I said, it holds an edge. Now some of the advantages that people may like this over a Mora, for example, is because of the full tang. If you can see there, a lot of people like the full tang, and this is more of a traditional American style blade. Matter of fact, Green River knives they're kind of modeled after what the frontiersmen would use. Now this knife would not be as good for carving, obviously, because it's a sheath knife. This is for camp chores, for cooking, for some of this camp prep. For detailed carving, you really don't have a good tip on it to do extremely detailed carving, as you can see. So you might have a little difficult time with that. But for your general camp chores, making a figure 4 trap, preparing firewood, those types of things, the Green River knife really would do well. Right now we're just gonna shave some of this bark off here and just kind of show you how the Green River knife can do some of the basic cuts that you would use for some of your wood chores. Let's see here, this piece might be better. Just shave this stuff off. Here's an example of the type of cut you would use for example, part of a figure 4 trap, or if you're making a willow whistle or something like that. Notch there. So as you can see, the Green River knife would do a fine job with doing those kinds of cuts. See, this will start some dry lint without a problem. As you can see, doesn't have an issue with that at all. So the Green River knife here, Green River knife seems to be a great knife. You can buy them made. Now I bought just the blade and put my own handle on it. But you can buy them made for under $15. So for that price, they're comparable to the price of a Mora of Sweden or something like that. Now a lot of people don't like the Mora grind. A lot of people don't like Scandinavian grinds. A lot of people don't like the fact that the Moras have a stick tang or maybe even a partial tang depending on which one you're using. For example, the Clipper tang only goes to about here. So it doesn't even go halfway down the handle. Those that have the stick tang go almost all the way through, but it's very narrow at the back. Whereas the Green River knife has a full tang. So a lot of people prefer having a full tang knife. My memory card filled up, so I had to run inside, but here we have the Green River knife again. The Green River would excel above a Mora in certain areas, and one of the prime areas that I can think of is definitely going to be skinning. As you can see, the Green River knife has a little bit more of a belly, which would make skinning a lot easier. And although I know that you can skin with a Scandinavian grind, I think that it's a little bit more difficult to get used to. I've heard people who are just starting out using Scandinavian grind have had a difficult time without destroying the hide in the process. So if you have a desire to actually save the skinned portion, to save the fur for your own purposes, Scandinavian grind can be difficult with that if you're not used to doing it. Whereas a blade like this would make it a lot easier because of the full belly. For $12, I really recommend that you pick one of these up and try it out. I think that you find that if you don't really like the Moras, and you prefer maybe a convex, this is kind of like a poor man's substitute for buying a convex knife or a convex grind. You probably could put a convex on it. Obviously it wouldn't be a full convex because the full blade wouldn't be convex, but you could put a convex tip on it if you so desired, similar to the way you could do to a pocket knife, for example. It really is a great blade. This sheath did not come with it. This is by Kepis, for our Kepis Bushcraft, Mark over at Kepis Bushcraft. I recommend you check him out if you're looking for a leather sheath. He does great work. And all in all, it's a great piece. So for the price, you really should check it out. Just Google search for Green River knives, and you should come up with a couple different websites. Or you can shoot me a private message, and I'll see if I can pass some areas on. All right, thanks for watching.